For the traumatic brain injury journal application and analysis, I picked two scholarly articles. And since we were talking about 504 plans and IEPs for students with TBI, traumatic brain injury, I found two articles of examining IEP goals for children with TBIs, and then tips and ways, recommendations for student success with traumatic brain injury and post-secondary education. I really like these two articles because they're very different, but at the same time, they talk a lot about the similar things of how severe, like the moderate, mild, severe, profound, different types of traumatic brain injury can happen. And then they both talk about how traumatic brain injury is very underrepresented in the number of students that are classified under traumatic brain injury and receiving special education services across K to 12. TBI is the most prevalent disability in school ages of birth to 17. So underrepresentation can be a result of not qualifying for special education services and misidentification of TBI or failure to alert for families to alert the school about the child's TBI can really result in them in not having great schooling success since they are not getting the services needed. So in the first study or article examining the quality of IEP goals for children with traumatic brain injury, this is a case study where they looked at 49 students and 125 IEP goals for these 49 students with TBI. There are 6 dimensions of goal quality that they're looking for. It's measurability, functionality, generalizability, daily tasks, and clarity of goals, and then observability. So I think that this is also a really great article to look at because as becoming a special education teacher, I want to make sure that not only just for students with TBI, but especially for students with TBI, that we are looking for those 6 areas of dimension for when I'm writing all my students' IEP goals. So they had 2 research questions, IEP goal quality, and then the highest quality of dimensions. So for the first one, they rated these 125 goals from a score of 0 to 6, and they saw that about 32% of the IEP goals received a sum score of 3, which is pretty average since the score is from 0 to 6, so it's about a 50%, which I don't think is that great. So the quality of these IEP goals just really are middle of the road. And then the highest quality of dimension, the lowest quality was generalizability, and then the highest score was the measurability, which I think is good that the high score is measurability because all your goals should be measurable and then collecting the data from it to see how the students are meeting their goals. Just overall, this article explains that these IEP goals are very important to develop well to meet the needs of all students, especially with TBI, within their mild, severe, profound, moderate brain injury, just all the different classes that they might be in. And then for the second one, traumatic brain injury and the transition to post-secondary education, recommendations for student success. This was a very interesting one, and I wouldn't have never thought about post-secondary goals for students with TBI, but they really mark that for post-secondary education, students with TBI need to be aware of their unique needs, legal protections, and responsibilities. So this is very important for families and school teams so they can collaboratively assist the student with their demands and their transition from high school to post-secondary circumstances. For post-secondary education, there's new set of cognitive, academic, social, and emotional challenges with TBI. So even though you might have your high school IEP or 504 plan, it's going to be way different for college or post-secondary education. You're still going to get the services and accommodations through an IEP or 504 plan, but the services may not be accessible at that post-secondary level, so there's going to be a little bit of a change, and the team will figure that out. I also saw that there is a lot of challenges. They explain a lot of the challenges of somebody with a TBI, no matter the severity of it, and how hard post-secondary can be. And cognitive abilities, since the frontal lobe can be damaged, and it mostly is damaged from most TBI, the frontal lobe can have a direct effect on emotions, and with increased emotional and behavioral difficulties, an individual may experience difficulties with their peers or in class. Impaired executive functioning and verbal memory deficits in particular can have an impact on academic skills following a TBI. The younger the student and at its time of injury, the more difficult future learning may be because of the amount of learning that the skills the student still has to master. So both these articles have talked about the importance of IEP and 504 plans, and then their goals, and the accommodations needed for a student with a TBI, no matter the severity, to ensure success within the high school / post-secondary education. My experiences with an individual with a TBI, I have got the experience with the girl went to my high school. She came in mid-year. She was in the life skills room. She had a severe TBI. It happened when she was 4 years old. She fell out of a window of a 4-story building, and it happened in Arizona, so it was in a different state. So seeing how being in a different state of that happening to trying to get the services needed in PA was really challenging for the grandma, because she didn't have full custody of the girl. So she really did not get the medical support that she really needed, or the money, because those meds that she took were very expensive, and you could see that grandma was like really trying. So it was super sad. But the life skills teacher and I, over COVID, we went to her house, and we dropped off like a ton of food, and that little girl like always like has an impact on my, like, she has a little special place in my heart, because she was always super fun and like energetic, but you can tell like she was very low, didn't have very well social skills. Like her goals were to count to 10 and read sight words, and she was 18. So you could see like the cognitive abilities were very rough. And then her behaviors, she didn't show many behaviors, but as the years went on through high school, she started to get a little bit more she started to show more behaviors where it would just be like a flip of a switch. Like she'd be doing something that she wanted to do, and then next thing you know, she was cussing out the teacher, saying she didn't want to do this. And then I also saw that she has PTSD, which was very it was heartbreaking to see, but it was very insightful to see, because I would have never known how to handle something like that. Her dad got arrested in Arizona when she fell out the window. There was like a whole bunch of like drug issues happening there, and she just thinks that like she like all of a sudden like would come in like crying, screaming, saying like she didn't want her dad to be taken, and she would like relive all those like memories of when she was there, when she was literally 4 years old, and she remembers the police coming in and SWAT coming in. And then she would get so scared of our security guards, so they would come in and be like, hey, we're okay, like, we're nice. And it would, like, snap her out of it somehow, and then she would, like, just go back to normal. But she also had a lot of seizures, so, like, you could tell, like, when she just was staring off into blank, her eyes would start, like, really moving, like, her pupils and stuff. I did witness her have, like, a grand mal seizure, and the actions you have to take within the classroom to, I couldn't do much because I was a student in high school, so I had to exit the room. But yeah, I won't say her name. That girl she was always super fun. I loved her, but she did move back to Arizona with her grandma, so she can get the services and medications that she needs there better than she did in PA, because it just wasn't helping her, because she couldn't get those meds to keep her on track, and she had more seizures and more behaviors the time she went without the meds that she really needed.